Today, stepping up to the podium, we have a couple of potential legends in this game. We have Baby Predatoe taking on Lisa Twinkletoes Shenton. And as Lisa makes her way to the podium here, Elizabeth, please take us through the enormous matchup that we have on our hands today at the Toe Wrestling World Championships.
I mean, we've never seen Lisa more nervous than last year. But in those qualifying rounds, my gosh, I've never seen Lisa get so worked up. I can tell that she's really nervous about this one.
And we have to think as well, Elizabeth, a lot of those matches dragged out before. She's not used to that with Lisa. She's used to those fast-paced matches and flying her way through the qualifiers. But there's been a lot of strain on the mental and the physical just getting into this semi-final here today as they lock up.
We've got the refs going through the rules again, and we're off. Oh my goodness, that looks like Lisa has got the upper hand there. She's really twisting her ankle across. Oh, it's a breakaway.
We see a breakaway.
I dare to think about these breakaways. She's really cursed in that department today.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of breakaways early on in the matches of Lisa Twinkletoes. And you can see that her strategy has really been getting off the line extremely fast. We can see as they regroup here in the middle of the podium, we're going to see them back underway and they're going on that right side. And again, we see disconnection very early on. What do these girls need to do, Elizabeth, to make sure they stay connected throughout the match?
I mean, they definitely need to be conscious of pulling away as they're moving their feet across there. At the moment, they're not really pushing into it, as you can see with that second toes away. They're actually kind of pulling away more than they are pushing. And that's what's causing the breakaway.
It looked like, from my perspective here as I watch on, Baby Predatoe just lifted her heel off the podium. It didn't look intentional, but again, that comes back to the referees needing to crack down on that sort of action early. We know that the competitors are going to be doing absolutely everything to try and borrow still a point as they make their way into the final. So the referee's going to have to be eagle-eyed because there's going to be a lot of spectators dialed in to the respective rules on this one. We saw a lot of gamesmanships in the build-up. I'm not sure if we're going to see the same thing here, but it looks like it's going to be the case.
I mean, we're seeing Lisa there putting a plaster on her toe again, which makes me think, has someone else said something again? And a big up to our sponsor, Vibram 5 Fingers, for sponsoring the event.
And as we see the beautiful podium sponsored by Vibram 5 Fingers at this year's World Championships, we can also see the black tape being reintroduced as these girls have had multiple offences with breakaways. The referees having to intervene very early and getting that figure of 8 strap in. The reason why you're seeing it like this from the get is we need that reinforcement. There's so much power between these girls, Elizabeth. We need to step in early doors with that reinforced tape.
Yeah, and these refs are new as well. They're new to the sport, so we have to give them a little bit of credit. They're really stepping in and taking on quite a lot of new rules and strapping the toes and things they're not used to, but that could work against both of the girls' favour as well when things aren't being picked up on early enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure in these matches, not just for the opponents sitting opposite each other, but also the referees and the officials themselves. There's a lot of people watching, there's a lot of money on the line, and they're back under the way. It's a very sharp start with Baby Predatoe.
Oh, Baby Predatoe, she's touched!
And that's a slam straight into the stanchion.
You can see there on Lisa's face, she is not happy about that one, but that was one fair and square.
And she did not expect Baby Predatoe to counter with that sort of speed. Lisa's been the one initiating the aggression from the start. She's been the one with the early slides across and then looking to turn over the point. But it was this time Baby Predatoe steaming off the line and smashing that right side straight into the upright.
She's cutting her own tape off her own foot there. You can tell that she's really annoyed by that one, but she has got another point to win it back. Could Baby Predatoe be the one to take home the crown this year?
Lisa definitely looks a little bit dejected here, I must say. Again, we're used to her just slowing things down, taking her time, wiping the toes, having a sip of water before she re-engages. But this time there's a little bit of panic on her face as they reset.
She's shoving those feet in. She's ready. She's trying to get her second point as quick as she can.
The start's going to be...
toes away.
Ooh.
Instant breakaway. They're really not good on their left feet there.
The start is going to be everything between these two girls. They love to get off the mark fast, and that's really what's going to be able to dictate the rest of the point. And again, they break away early. You can see the anguish over the face of Baby Predatoe. She doesn't seem to be too happy. Does she think that's intentional?
I think there could be a little bit of game playing happening there, but is it inexperience or is it game playing? We've got toes away. We've got Lisa. You can see she's trying to move that ankle across.
I definitely think there is something to be said for a tighter bind when they reset. I think the ref could just intervene a little bit earlier, making sure that there's a much more rigid bind. I feel like the last time was a little bit shallow on that reset, and that's why we saw them slide across pretty early. Sometimes you really need that deep engagement from the first point to make sure you can get that good start to the match.
The thing I would argue against there is that Baby Predatoe does look slightly as if she's not sitting completely central compared to Lisa, but I can't quite see from this angle.
I like what you've picked up there, Elizabeth, because that's something that we're starting to see a little bit more at the toe wrestling, is whilst the bum does have to be on the floor, it isn't necessary to be at a certain angle. As long as the heel is on the floor and it starts at the middle, everything is all systems go. So maybe that's a new technique that we're seeing. People start on a slightly different angle to get that early push.
Yeah, and I think it's something that the refs really need to be careful of. But again, as I said earlier, they don't always know the rules. They're new to the sport as well. They're trying to work it out. I mean, it could work against Lisa. It could work for her. We just don't know yet.
Come on, Emily!
The referee just making sure that these ladies start on the red line and making sure they're centered. You can see that they are there. The foots are away and they're back underway on that left side with the strap in, and they pull away early. Again, I can't help but think that the binding has to be tighter from the get. It doesn't look like we're getting that good initial bind, and that's what's looking like is causing the breakaways early on in this particular matchup. Again, both ladies sitting there looking very frustrated, and the ref looking a little bit confused.
I mean, they've got an unusual technique because, if I'm honest, at the moment, I feel like they're just trying to use the tape as a way to shove their foot from one side of the toedium to the other, rather than their toes actually doing the work.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal point that you've brought up there, Elizabeth, because it definitely looks like that is the case. It seems like sometimes when the binding is put on and the strapping is put on, these ladies are chucking their technique out the window and just going for brute force. Now, the problem with that is they separate the feet very quickly. And when the feet are separated and they are not bound tightly, you then get the breakaway, and that also snaps through the tape as well. So again, it all comes back to the referee really cracking down on a tight bind at the start and making sure that we have clean engagement from the get. And that way we can get a much smoother match.
And one more time, let's hear it for Baby Predatoe.
So we look like we have a good binding there. The crowd are going wild. Crowd have been screaming, scrap the toe. The crowd have been screaming, scrap the toe, and we're off again.
Scrap the toe, scrape the toe. This is going to break the toe if she keeps going on this way, because that was a very tight raking on that side for Lisa. You can see a slight bit of pain just creep into her eyes there, but she's the ultimate competitor. She's not really trying to let too much off, but you can definitely see the emotions start playing in. Baby Predatoe looks fed up. She looks like she's ready to rock and roll and go into the next round, and this is all taking a little bit too long for her liking. You can see she's just leaning onto that left side, just clutching her foot there. I don't know if that's just resetting the position or if she's in a little bit of pain. Of course, we had the whole dilemma with Diamante Gate earlier.
The audience are screaming, strap the toe. They absolutely live for this, but one person who doesn't live for it, as we've said before, is Lisa. But she's griming and bearing it because she knows she has to.
Strap the toe, strap the toe, strap the toe. The crowd is going absolutely insane for that chant this year. Lisa may not like it, but they most certainly do. We know that she likes to keep things natural, but that cannot be the case in this particular matchup. The compatibility is simply not there, and we're having to see the referee step in yet again to get this particular bind in. It's really going to be a war of attrition in this match. Again, like what we spoke about earlier, sure, they're having to go through the physical paces and demands of this match, but also mentally, It's a lot of time in between these games, and it's really a strain on these ladies.
I mean, you're waiting a long time in between each of the games as well, because we've had so many competitors this year. We've had about 16 or 17 on each side. There looks like a little bit of controversy happening right now.
You say a little bit of controversy. I say a lot of controversy. Lisa Twinkletoes Shenton does not look too happy with the angle that Baby Toe is starting at, but they're both underway. You can see the faces are grimacing on Lisa, and Baby Predatoe's got a very good start there on that left side. She has been known to start very fast, and she's got a really good advantage.
It looks like Baby Predatoe's going to get it. I don't know what that is. She's been... Oh, and he's giving her the point. Lisa's going to feel absolutely robbed of that one. Her foot slid out of the tape. She is not happy. I wouldn't be either. But the ref's letting her have it. That's a point. And that is Lisa Shenton for the first time thrown out of the competition.
Wow. I am shell-shocked at that with